Okay, welcome everyone to my kitchen. So here we are with Peter Caizer, who's also known as the Wild Food Messiah.
Grass.
The Wild Grass Messiah, sorry, not the Wild Food, the Wild Grass Messiah. So you're going to find out, we've got wild grasses here, we're going to give you close-ups on them, and Peter's going to explain the benefits of the greatness that we're surrounded by and we're missing out on, that nature is giving us, and we're walking past it every day, we're throwing this stuff away, it's free of charge, and he's going to explain the goodness in it, the wisdom that's in it, the life force energy that's in it, how that's going to help you to raise your vibration up so that you can really start to be connected with not just yourself and the planet, but the whole cosmos that we're a part of.
That's right.
So let me hand over to you, and I'm going to be asking him questions, because as you be thinking stuff, right, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. So I'm going to try and act as all the people who are watching to ask any of these questions, because for most people this is a radical shift in how they look at getting nutrients in the body.
And this is what we're about, right?
Yeah.
We're about shifting into the new age, which is the age of Aquarius, and which is already here, but because people are so tied up with their possessions in the past, they're stuck in the age of Pisces. But that's an old vibration that doesn't really match anymore the cosmic vibration that's streaming down from the sun and from the universe, which is captured in the grasses right here as information, that we're going to extract this information and drink it, like you had already cut before we did this thing, and you felt instantly like, wow, I'm already feeling like something is going on, you know, I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
Right.
So just to go on this, to really break this down and make this understandable by the average person who might be looking at this thinking, what are you talking about? Information coming down.
Right, okay.
So you're meaning that not only does the sun give heat, but the sun gives information that gets captured by the plant.
Wisdom, light.
Or captured by the grass.
Yes.
Wisdom and light. And then what? That's rooted to the earth, and then as that puts the roots and the energy and the wisdom and the information back in that.
And it transforms it, and it holds the information actually in the grass blades through a process that is called photosynthesis. That means it captures the light, transforms it, and stores it as energy right in this grass blade, right? So with this special machine, we have the chance to extract the goodness of this light and the information, because it's high vibrational, into a juice which we make delightful by adding a few little other components that people just juice on their own without the power. Because here's where the power is, okay? And I'll get into that in details as we continue juicing. And for any of you who's really seriously interested, this is the book right there, written by Steve Myrovich about wheatgrass, nature's finest medicine, and there you get all the information, whatever I missed in this demonstration, actually fleshed out to the maximum, with all the research that has been done in the 30s and the 40s of last century, where they figured it out and knew this is the answer to it all. But then the chemical companies came in, took over, pushed it out, and that's the reality we live in now, in a chemical controlled reality. But this is the real reality, and we're bringing it back.
Sure, so we have to get back to nature.
Right.
You know, we're so disconnected. This is why there's so many problems and challenges on the planet at the moment, because we're disconnected from the truth. So when this stuff starts to go in, I know some people are already thinking, hang on a minute, you're going to start eating grass?
No, we're not eating it. We're juicing it. You can't really eat it, because the cow has 4 stomachs to be able to eat it. So we're not equipped to eat it, but we're equipped to develop this juicer to extract the goodness out of it and drink it and get all the benefits. This is our approach.
We had something yesterday where I've had so many people say to me, come on, if you're not eating meat, you're not having fish, you're not having dairy, can you really be in good shape? Let me tell you now, first of all, world's strongest man now, vegetarian, vegan.
Right.
Top 3 triathletes in the world, vegan. Top 5 natural bodybuilders, they're all vegan. There is a new wave that's happening. And when we were taking something yesterday and eating it, and they say, you try and eat this, you won't be able to eat it. The toughness, the strength that's in this, you can't eat it. That's how strong this stuff is.
The fiber. But even like these little sprouts right here, which is like an embryonic grass blade, which is just about growing to be a grass blade. Already the fiber is so tough you can't break it down. This little thing, imagine this. This fiber is even like 10 times stronger than this. So you can't break it down. But that's why we have this juicer. The juicer is doing the job.
So you imagine, like, if we're not strong enough to break it down, and this machine can break it down and pull those nutrients out of it, you imagine what's going on inside. This is not like some wheatgrass that you grow in a pot inside. This stuff has come from nature. It's got the energy from the earth going into it.
Right.
This is hardcore plant power. So let's get into it. So what's this? So this is what sort of grass?
Wild grass. It's definitely a wild cereal grass. Okay, here for a little demonstration for our viewers. As you can see, the cereal grasses all come as with a white, soft blade. That's how you recognize them. And what happens is there's always a shoot shooting out of the center, which is like the freshest grass blade. So this is really the stuff that this is all the same of, but just in massive quantities harvested in the forest out there way away from the city. Okay, so where I go out, you know, every other day because I forage for a couple days, get big bags, keep them in the refrigerator. You can keep them for 2-3 days, as long as you don't juice it. Once you juice it, you want to drink it right away.
And you imagine, like, at the moment you go out, you go to the supermarket, you go to the corner store, you go out and you buy stuff. You imagine going into nature and actually connecting with nature and getting this stuff, coming back instantly, juicing it, drinking it straight away. That is a whole new concept when it comes to getting nutrients in the body, because food is only a shuttle system to be able to get those nutrients in the body. This stuff going in, hardcore nutrients.
Exactly, thank you. This is what I was just going to say. When you have this tray of wheatgrass that they grow and sell in the juice bars, right? It's an immature young plant like this thing that I was holding up. It's an immature young plant right here that is trying to grow into a mature plant, struggling in an overcrowded environment that's not enough mineralized soil. It is not connected to the earth. It's floating on top of the earth, and that's why it has this weird flavor to it, this weirdness of these sugars which are not digested in the growth process of the plant. This stuff comes from a mature plant that's anchored deep in the ground, deep roots, and sucks up the minerals from way down. So it's like way more rich in minerals and the nutrients that the other stuff could never have, you see? This is one of the other key things. Yes, of course. But the really key point which got me into it 25 years ago, I started 25 years ago when I learned about the wheatgrass and learned about, you know, through the Envigmore first. Here's the catch-22. If you look at it, the human red blood cell, hemoglobin, and you look at the chlorophyll molecule, they are almost identical, almost the same, no difference except the core, okay? The human red blood cell hemoglobin has iron at the core and chlorophyll has magnesium at the core. So, but through a process which David Wolfe calls biological transmutation, our body can take this green juice and transform it instantly into fresh blood. That means you get a shoot, like a push of like some vitality that rushes in. It's like a light wave that comes into your bloodstream and just refreshes it, and you feel the vibrations going up. You can't be depressed drinking this stuff. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible, because it has a harmonious wavelength in it, which is like what is missing in this world out there, because it's a chaotic world. There's chaos, you know. You're in London on a Saturday night or something, you notice this chaos. All these people are like chaotic, you know, and there's no...
That's not London on Saturday night, that's London 24/7.
Okay, well, I'm not here 24/7 in a long time, I'm just visiting. But what I'm saying is, like, when you go in nature, there's a really beautiful slow wavelength. That's why you feel so nourished and so comfortable when you go out into the nature, you know, and the parks are just a little substitute of real nature, because you really have this big slow vibration. If you're in the city, you're bombarded with all kinds of wavelengths, Wi-Fi, you know, radio signals, television signals. It's all bombarded on you. You know
that, the stress that we're creating ourselves as well.
On top of that, exactly. Yeah. So how are you going to find some peace in all of that? Well, right there. This is where the peace is. This is what brings you into your center, slows you down, and makes you focus on what's really important. Because all of a sudden you see the light. This is what it's all about, right?
He's a nutter like me. I love it.
Well, you know, they say the light is at the end of the tunnel. I'm just saying, like, make sure it's not an oncoming freight train.
Right, let's get this in there.
Okay, so let's switch up this juicer. So here we go. Boom! See, it does it all alone. This is the twin gear juicer. All you do is you just put the grass in. It juices it all alone, right? So here we go. We just add up massively grass, because that's where the magic is. Then, and after a We have clinging cleaver. It's a clover variety we put in.
So why are you putting this in?
It's good for the lymphatic system,
cool.
Cleansing, purifying the lymphatic system. I love nettles. These are the stinging nettles coming out.
So these are nettles that would sting people?
That would sting people, but because I picked them yesterday, the hairs, the stingy hairs lost their intensity, so they don't really sting much
So when
anymore.
you're picking these, you want to be...
I have a leather glove. I have a leather glove. I have a leather glove and a knife, and I cut them and hold the stinging nettles with leather glove, put them all in a bag, and then I wrap the bag so the sting is going to be like diminished by squishing it together.
You don't want you going out there getting stung. That's
no,
not the objective.
No, exactly. But it's the second most nutritious plant on the planet, which would be extinct if it wasn't stinging. This is the funny part of it. Now, we always add a little dandelion, and look at these beautiful flowers, loaded with lecithin. So it's one of the key sources of lecithin. So
and these are straight out of the garden?
Right out of the garden, right here. You can see them right there. Okay, and here's the leaves of the dandelion. Now, you don't want to put too many of these in because they tend to have a little bitterness, and if you don't want the juice too bitter, you don't want to put too many of those in. So just like 4 or 5 leaves for a liter is good. Here I have some young thistles. Thistles is really good for rebuilding the liver, especially in a city like London where people tend to drink a lot of alcohol in pubs and stuff. You need this stuff. You need thistle right here.
Yeah, it's going to cleanse your liver.
Cleanse your liver. Key element, young plant. And then I have something else here. It's called plantain. This actually purifies the lungs for all the smokers of you, okay? Super bitter too, so you just need 1 or 2 leaves of that stuff, okay? And we fill it in with like some more grass. And then one of the things I always like to put in the juice is sprouts. So here I have some mung bean sprouts that are going to go into the juice.
So just explain to people what's happening here. So these were mung beans.
These were mung beans.
Do you want to talk me through the process that you go through? Because most people don't even know about doing this stuff.
Well, the thing is, the sprout is an enzyme factory. What runs our whole system in our life is enzymes, okay? This is the key magic word with living foods. So, sprouts have like this power of life that's exploding, bursting. It's like a plant bursting into existence, right? So at the core levels in the first 5-6 days, it's loaded with the most enzyme potential possible. And these have a nice flavor to it, so I use these, but I use some lentils too. I use alfalfa if I can get, sunflower sprouts, even if you want to have a little spicy, a little radish sprout.
It kind of looks like a sperm cell.
It does.
And that tail, that's going to help you move through life.
Exactly.
You want to get that tail. That tail is what brings a normal being to life. And that's why we sprout stuff. Sprouting is key. Key. And that's fundamental. You want to make sure you get used to sprouting. See all this stuff at the back here? I don't know if you see all this. All of this stuff at the back here is all beans being sprouted.
And that is because life comes from life. This whole idea that you can get energy out of cooked food is an illusion. You'll never get energy out of cooked food. Energy comes from life. So life begets life. If you want to stay fresh and young, you need to eat live food. So you need to replenish that what you burn out living your day, right? And now to make this flavorful and a little bit thing, we put a little cucumber in here. Where we need this sticker right here. We put a little apple in there. Apple is the most neutral of all fruits. I put a little ginger in there for like flavor component. It's really good. I have a little turmeric I found yesterday in the market. Fabulous. Apple turmeric. Turmeric, most powerful herb out there that is or spice because it's antibacterial, antifungal, anti-whatever. It kills everything. That's why they're still going in India, because they use a lot of turmeric in their food. Otherwise they would only be of the thing. I like to add a little pineapple to it, so there's a little pineapple. Okay, but meanwhile we want to add up more grass because this is where the power is. It's in the chlorophyll, right? So always massive amounts of grass in there.
Now this looks bizarre to some people, I know, but until you experience what happens when you drink this stuff, you're really not going to understand it. You know, you can sit there and think that looks weird, you can judge it, but all you're doing is basing something based on your current belief system, which has been, how has that been implanted? By a society where there's pain, there's suffering, there's depression, there's sickness, there's disease, there's all this stuff. This is the stuff that's going to cleanse you out. This is the stuff that's going to help to rebuild you and bring in that natural life force energy so that you have it pulsing through your physical system.
Not only that, what it does, it connects you to the moment. This is information of what's really going on in the cosmos now. It's stored here. The information from the light that's being down from the cosmos is stored right here in this grass. Now you drink this, you know what's really going on because you're vibrating at this high frequency of what's really going on. If you eat the newspaper, you're lost. If you read the newspaper, that's old news. There's no news, really. You're wasting your time. This is the newspaper of today, right here. This is where all the news that you really need is in. So right there, you drink your news, you know. This is how we're doing it now. We're drinking the news, right?
Drinking the news, I love it.
Exactly, because this is the new paradigm. This is the age of Aquarius. Remember, we talked about that at the beginning? I know you guys are all stuck in the age of Pisces, but that's okay. We're here to push it to the next level. And we're just showing you how easy everybody can do it. And Mother Nature provides everything in abundance out there. You just go out of London, just like a few miles, and there's plenty of green stuff. I'm always amazed how much is there.
And let me explain this in another way. So, if some people are thinking, hang on, that just went straight over my head, I didn't understand that. Let me break it down so the Homer Simpson out there can understand this stuff. So let's say that we all vibrate at a certain frequency,
right,
and we all absorb information based on the frequency that we vibrate at. Now if you imagine that you've got a radio and it's tuned into plain FM, it doesn't matter how much you beat it, how much you kick it, until you're ready to turn that dial to tune into, say, like Peace FM or Love FM or Success FM or whatever FM you want to tune into, the only way you can do it is by turning the dial so the receiver tunes into a different frequency out there. We are exactly the same as that. The higher we raise our vibration, the more connected we are to nature, the more our frequency goes up, and we tune in to different frequencies. And most people, their vibration on their frequency is a very low vibration.
Right.
Hence, that's why people get diseases, they get the sicknesses.
Yes.
When you're on a high vibration, sickness can't reside in the body.
No.
And not only that, it's not just that the sickness can't reside there.
It can't even
what
get
you
there.
pick up, what information and wisdom comes to you, it fuels your instincts. It overrides the brain with something that is far more powerful than that. And most of us are just locked in our brain.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we tune back into our instincts, and we come from a heart place. And the way we do that a lot more easy is we connect with nature.
Well, here's another thing.
Nature wants to feed us.
And not only that, you talk about connecting to the heart, right? Guess what? We have an energetic system inside of us, invisibly called the chakra system. It's running by lotus flowers that are spinning. The heart chakra happens to be green. So this is what really connects you more to the heart too. By drinking the green juice, you're actually opening up your heart chakra too to receive more love vibration coming in. While when you eat meat, you're going to be eating something that is fear and suffering and all of that is in there just the same, because that piece of meat carries the murdering of the animals, the suffering, the anguish, the pain. All of that is in there, and you eat that, so you're becoming part of that pain, of that vibration. And as he said, that lowers your core vibration, because we're light beings and we're made to strive towards the light. That's why we're attracted to the light, because we are of the light. So when we're not in the flesh form, we're in the light form, then we are up there in the cosmos and we become space, because whatever we become in time turns into space after we are dead, which is not really death, which is a rebirth on a higher frequency plane. So with this green stuff, we're basically building a bridge and reaching out to where we're going anyways at some point in time, but we have no fear about it because we understand it. We know what it is. It's not some fear thing. It's like, oh, okay, it's just a new birth. As this was a birth on this plane, coming down from a higher plane to the lower plane, we're going back to the higher plane. That was all the experiences gathered through this lifetime, added on to our spiritual essence, so we grow in consciousness and awareness and all of that. And this is the key thing to make that happen.
I mean, even Einstein said, you remind me of Einstein, he's like this mad professor, this guy over here. Right. And even Einstein said, he goes, you know, human evolvement will take its biggest growth when we all decide to become vegetarian.
That's right.
We don't need to eat animals to get power. You know, you start to look at a gorilla, it lives on berries and leaves.
Yes.
Rock solid muscle.
Yes. Rock solid muscle, that's it.
So many people.
Look at the horse. Look at the horse. Yeah. Unbelievable. Grazes on grass. It just outruns you, outruns anything, and it is powerful. It's like massive, you know.
And we are really reconnecting where, you know, taking synthetic stuff like, you know, supplements and all that type of stuff, you know, to enhance your performance.
Yeah.
It's creating more acid in the body. It isn't natural. Nature never intended for that stuff to go inside the body. When you start to use this stuff, you know, I knew this stuff a long time before I actually started to do it, because the way I was conditioned was like, there's no way I'm going to start doing that stuff. Right. I'm not going to start eating like rabbits. I'm not going to start to go out there and grab grass and grab like weeds.
That's right.
And it was all based on conditioning.
All based on conditioning.
And suddenly the messages kept coming in and in and in. It was like I was being slapped around the face to say, look, wake up, try this. And when you try it, there is no going back.
There is no going back.
You will not believe how you feel.
Yes, that's it.
And not only that, you're doing, because here's the thing, because ultimately you want health, energy, vitality pulsing through you at a high level.
Yes.
Anything other than that, you're not living at your best. And ultimately you want to be able to live every day being switched on. You don't want to have a disease, you know, some kind of illness or something going through your body. The way you start to fuel yourself up with this stuff, it just alerts you. It turns you back onto life. And
yes,
it's really, really hard for people to understand it by watching this. I encourage you to go and try it. You know, why do you think that you're seeing a new movement happening? It's because it's time for us to wake up as a human species. It's time for us to reconnect with the truth. It's time for us to stop doing things just because we've done it at a tradition, or we've done it because that's what we've been programmed to do. It's time to start saying, right, does this make common sense? Right. You know, when you go to the supermarket and you buy stuff, you don't know half of the stuff that they put in that so-called food that you're buying.
And it's all wrapped in plastic. It's all wrapped in plastic. You go out in nature, it's all like growing naturally. There's no plastic wrapping the grass, wrapping the dandelions, wrapping the plantain, wrapping the thistles. It's all growing, you know, so you cut out the plastic, man.
And this is what's coming out here.
Okay, this stuff, as I explained before, let's first have some juice, because the juice is ready, and then we'll talk about that. The pulp we can make into the most amazing crackers on top of that, but we have to set out with the intention to do that. Look at that. Look at this. Amazing green stuff. Alright, let's get that.
That's kick-ass grass.
Okay, where's your glass? Just connect this here. You get your glass. Kick-ass. This is the real grass.
Kick-ass
grass. You know, in the 60s they used to smoke the grass, and it was great to get higher. Now, we drink the grass, and we get even higher, okay? And this is what it's all about, okay?
Go on.
Here we go.
Cheers.
To the light.
To the light. And this isn't like doing like a wheatgrass shot.
No, this is like...
Wheatgrass, you said we've got 6 litres of blood flowing through our bodies. This, and there's very little difference between the green stuff and our blood. So when you go and neck like a pint of this stuff, you imagine that life that is pulsing through your blood, because your blood is your river of life. I mean, this is one of our events. We do blood testing on people. We do their live blood testing right in front of them, because most people think, oh, I'm pretty healthy. When you see your blood right in front of you, it's a wake-up call, because most people think they're healthy, but they're not. Very few people are actually living healthy. So this stuff is going to clean out your blood, and I don't want to talk anymore because I want to drink it.
It tastes absolutely amazing.
You can instantly just feel that.
Isn't that divine? The flavor with the little apple and the pineapple and the pomegranate. It just adds this beautiful. I can drink like a gallon of this stuff, and you know it's non-toxic.
Just to give you guys a number, most people are living a life that they're creating acid in their body. So this is very, very alkaline. This is going to go in and alkalize and neutralize that acid. Now it takes 20 parts alkaline to buffer 1 part acid. That's the ratio. So hence why you want to be making sure that most of your diet, most of the stuff that you're putting in, has an alkalizing effect on the body. Exactly. All the sugars, all the processed food, most of the all the fizzy drinks out there, you know, meat, all this stuff. All it's doing is putting pure acid in the body. So you want to be alkaline. This is the stuff to go for. So
to the future.
To the future.
It's here.
All right.
Give me 5 liters.
It really is freaking tasty.
And it tastes so good. If you guys would only know how good this tastes. But come to the event and we'll hook you up, you know?
Yeah, well, I've got an event this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Supercharge Your Life. Check it out, superchargeyourlifeuk.com. And this is definitely one of the ways how you can supercharge your life. No doubt about it.
Instantly.
Instantly.
Boom! Shoo! That's good.